This is the OTB Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. We've got a very busy program, a lot of racing action around the country, and we're going to start down in South Florida where we had good weather conditions, a couple of turf stakes. We're going to start with the Pan American Handicap, a grade 2 mile-and-a-half for $200,000 for the older horses. Let's head down to Gulfstream and Saturday's running of the Pan American.
Hello, and Robert Landry. They're at the post. They're off. Quest Star and Request for Parole. Man from Wicklow into the bit today. And there goes Man from Wicklow, and he will set the pace as Robert Landry has him into the bit, and he clears off. Quest Star now sits second. Request for Parole is between horses. Charge is 3 deep, and Joey Blue Eyes at the hedge. Then comes Believe I Can Fly, and Megantic at the back of the pack as Man from Wicklow now takes hold around the far turn for the first time, and he is doing it smartly. Man from Wicklow, 3/4 of a length. Quest Star has the running at the hedge in second. Charge is up to third now, and he's 2 from Man from Wicklow. Request for Parole is reserved in fourth. He's 2.5 lengths off the lead. Joey Blue Eyes and Believe I Can Fly. The entry mates are 4 from the front, and the trailer is Megantic as Man from Wicklow has had it easy in the first half mile, and he is coasting by the stands the first time. Man from Wicklow, a measured 2-length leader from Quest Star and Charge, who tracks second and third. Request for Parole is fourth now and 3 from the front. Here comes the first move from the back of the pack. It comes from Joey Blue Eyes, but then he had to tap on the brakes as he ran up on the tail of Quest Star. Megantic and Request for Parole are 3.5 off the lead, and now the trailer is Believe I Can Fly as they turn into the backstretch. In the 43rd Pan American Handicap, and Quest Star going to come take on Man from Wicklow now, and Man from Wicklow has to quicken to stay a neck in front. Defending champion Quest Star is alongside him in second. These two have opened up 2.5 lengths on Charge in third. Request for Parole still in striking position for Santos. He's 4th and 3 from the front. Joey Blue Eyes and Megantic have 4 lengths to make up. Believe I Can Fly is the trailer. There's less than a half mile left to run. Quest Star at the hedge. Man from Wicklow now only half ahead in front. These two now. Quest Star puts his neck in front. Quest Star has taken over the lead. Man from Wicklow going to have to re-engage. Long shot Megantic runs a big one. He's in the white cap, less than 2 from the front. Joey Blue Eyes at the rail. Request for Parole's got to go right now. Charge is next, and they run to the top of the stretch. Quest Star rides the hedge for Pat Day and leads by a length and 3/4. To the outside, Request for Parole now set down for the final furlong of the Pan American, but Quest Star is clear. Quest Star to the final 100 yards. He leads by 2 lengths. Request for Parole laid onto the scene. Quest Star, Request for Parole. Quest Star, yes!
Quest Star, who's not won a race since winning this race last season, has run into some pretty nice horses and run some pretty good races. Here returns to his favorite turf course and picks up a half-a-length victory under Pat Day, beating Request for Parole, who was the favorite. Quest Star, the second choice, sat just behind the early pace setter and pounced late, was able to hold off Request for Parole with a very nice effort. Long shot, 20-to-1 shot, Megantic rallies from far off the pace to finish in the 3rd spot. This is a horse that used to run in Bill Mott's barn and seems to have picked up the pace nicely since transferring to the barn of Norman Pointer. The winner, Quest Star, is a dark bay or brown 5-year-old son of Broad Brush from Tanaka by Manila. He was bred in Kentucky by John Massara. He's owned by Mansell Stables Limited and trained by Elliott Walden. Ridden to victory by Pat Day, Quest Star goes the 1.5 mile on the turf course labeled Firm in 2:26 and 2. We're going to head right back down to Gulfstream Park next for the running of the Caltech Stakes. This is a $60,000 3-year-old stakes, ungraded. Let's head back down to Florida and the running of the Caltech.
They're off. Good start for Shakespeare and Hope for the Roses. Sovereign Honor going to cross in front of both of them, though, and here's Sovereign Honor right up for the front. Tap, Day, and Cervello are next, then Papa Da. Now Shakespeare is tucked in behind the front runners. Cappius and Prince Archer next, then comes Prepster and Saratoga Episode, and the early trailer is Pinkai. It is Sovereign Honor with 1 lap to go. He leads Hope for the Roses 3/4 of a length, but now Hope for the Roses tugs Roger Velez right alongside in these 2 match strides. Cervello and Shakespeare are next, and Jose Santos getting a great trip on Shakespeare, tucked in at the hedge, 4th and 3 from Sovereign Honor. Tap Day is 3 wide into the backstretch as Prince Arch is just inside of him. Papa Da has 6 lengths to make up. Cappius is at the hedge. Then comes Prepster and Pinkai at the rail. Saratoga Episode at the back of the Caltech Stakes field as they head up the backstretch. Sovereign Honor trying to slow it down at the 4.5. He's a half length in front of Longshot Hope for the Roses in second. Shakespeare is just waiting for the go signal from Santos. He's at the hedge. Here's 2 early moves, Tap Day and Cervello, and so now 4 of them will line up going into the far turn. Prince Arch is 6th. He's 3 from the front. Then Papa Da. Cappius is at the hedge with 5 to come. Prepster is next. Then Saratoga Episode. Pinkai is the trailer, and the leader is still Sovereign Honor with Hope for the Roses in second. And now Shakespeare is off the hedge, 3 wide, and here comes Shakespeare to challenge Sovereign Honor, and he runs right by Hope for the Roses. Shakespeare's on a roll outside of Sovereign Honor, and here comes Shakespeare to challenge for the lead. Prince Arch has 3 to come. Then comes Cervello, and Shakespeare takes charge and runs away. Shakespeare suddenly 3 in front. Prince Arch up into second. Prepster is third. The Caltech Stakes goes to Shakespeare in front.
Shakespeare, who's now 2 for 2, broke his maiden at first asking last time out, moved right into stakes company, went off as the choice just under 2 to 1, and drew clear by 2 1/4 lengths under Jose Santos from Prince Arch, with Prepster rallying from far back off the pace after steadying in the early going to finish in the 3rd spot at 14 to 1. The winner, Shakespeare, is a Bay 3-year-old son of theatrical from Lady Sherrill by That's a Nice. He was bred in Kentucky by the Delridge Farm, owned by Delridge Farm and William Chatine, trained by Bill Mott and ridden to victory by Jose Santos. Shakespeare goes the mile and an eighth on the firm turf in 1 minute, 48 seconds flat. We're going to head right back down to Gulfstream Park for a pair of stakes on Sunday, beginning with the Via Borghese Stakes, a $60,000 event for fillies, this time 3-year-old fillies at 1 1/16. Let's head down to Florida, the running of the Via Borghese.
They're off. Chelsea's Pearl broke well, so did Pink Champagne into the outside Soul of the Cat. Bobby Hughes is up with the leaders today, and there goes Bobby Hughes to poke her neck in front. Galloping Gal is next, then Really American. Chelsea's Pearl broke right on top and now takes back. Outrageous Queen moves up a position, then Ming Cove between horses and Vu with Really American at the rail, then Chelsea's Pearl, and the trailer is Coquinery. Soul of the Cat didn't corner well, and that took Outrageous Queen towards the middle of the course. Meanwhile, Bobby Hughes is into the bit early, and she leads Galloping Gal by 1.25 lengths to the backstretch. Bobby Hughes, the leader. Galloping Gal is second by 1.5 lengths. Pink Champagne hugs the hedge, 3rd and 2 from the front. Soul of the Cat has lined herself out now, and she's 4th. Ming Cove is close to the pace today. She's 5th with 3.5 lengths to make up. Our Villa Priscilla, Vu between horses, and Outrageous Queen 3 Deep are the next flight, and they're all 6 from the lead. Really American has 8 to come. Chelsea's Pearl is 12 from the lead, and Coquinery is the trailer as they fire into the far turn in the 4th Via Borghese Stakes, and it's still Bobby Hughes just in front. Bobby Hughes leads Galloping Gal 3/4 of a length. Soul of the Cat is 3 deep in the pink cap. At the rail goes Pink Champagne. Ming Cove is just outside of her. Outrageous Queen has 4.5 to come. Then comes At the Rail our Villa Priscilla and Vu between horses, and they head for home. Soul of the Cat comes calling for the lead. It is Soul of the Cat just in front. Ming Cove is off the rail and on the attack. Then comes Pink Champagne. Vu is between horses, and Ming Cove puts her head in front. Soul of the Cat battles right back. Vu dives to the inside. Ming Cove has the lead. Vu, Soul of the Cat, and a late Coquinery. It's Ming Cove in front.
Ming Cove picking up a nice victory here at 5 to 1 Wide open betting race as the favorite Vu did run a nice effort from off the pace to finish second at over 3-1. Soul of the Cats showed good speed early, stalking 3 wide, did reach the lead at the top of the stretch, but faded to finish third at 9-1. The winner, Ming Cove, is a 3-year-old bay daughter of Sandpit from Gypsy Miss by Raise a Bid. Bred in Kentucky by the Penn Farm, she is owned by Double S, Wachtel, Friedman, and Iwinski, trained by Alan Iwinski. Ridden to victory by Chris DiCarlo. Ming Cove goes the mile in the 16th on the firm turf in 1:40.4. We're going to head right back down to Gulfstream Park now for the running of the Grade 2 Orchid Handicap for 4-year-olds and up. Fillies and mares going 1.5 miles on the turf for a $200,000 purse. Let's head back down to Florida, the running of the Orchid.
They're off. Meridiana broke running, so did Spice Island. These two, 1-2 early. Moscow Burning and Saved by the Light between horses. Ocean Silk secures a good running position. Sandaire's close to the pace. Boanna's at the hedge. Then Lost Appeal and Gallo Gal, and the early trailer is Miss Helly. It is Meridiana to set the pace, and it's a slow pace going into the far turn the first time. Meridiana just dawdles along 3/4 of a length. Ocean Silk now secures a very good running position for Pat Day. Saved by the Light is 3 deep and less than 2 from the front. Spice Island is reserved just off the pace. She's at the hedge fourth with 2.5 to come. Sandaire is 3.5 off the lead. That tells you how slow they're going up front. Normally Sandaire is 10 or 12 out of it by this point. To the outside, Californian Moscow Burning makes an early move, and here's Moscow Burning and Emil Ramsamy to quicken just a bit. Boanna's at the hedge. Then comes Lost Appeal and Gallo Gal. The trailer is Miss Helly, and there is 1 lap left to run in the 41st Orchid Handicap, and Meridiana is the pacemaker. It is Meridiana, a neck in front of Ocean Silk. Saved by the Light is less than a length from the front. She's in the 3 path at the clubhouse turn. Spice Island gets a very good tracking position. Jose Ferrar has her placed at the hedge, 2.5 off the lead. Moscow Burning now has 3.5 lengths to make up. Boanna is at the hedge, and Sandaire just outside of her. Lost Appeal is now 9 from the lead. Gallo Gal is alongside her, and Miss Helly has trailed throughout as they quicken up the back stretch. It is still Meridiana. Now she's just ahead in front as Ocean Silk turns up the pressure at the half-mile marker. Saved by the Light could still do it. She's less than a length from the front. Spice Island is at the hedge waiting her turn. Moscow Burning is now 3.5 off the lead. Boanna has 5 to come. Gallo Gal and Sandaire 6 off the lead. Then Lost Appeal and Miss Helly, and they round the far turn. No change in the top 5 for an entire mile. Meridiana continues to lead. Ocean Silk alongside in second. Saved by the Light 3 deep in third. Spice Island has to go now. She's 4th and 2.5 off the lead, and Saved by the Light comes calling for the lead. John Velasquez and Saved by the Light alongside Meridiana. Meridiana is still there though, a half length. Saved by the Light, Boanna, Moscow Burning, Spice Island not today for Ocean Silk, and Meridiana is still there. Meridiana Saved by the Light, Moscow Burning, Meridiana has won it.
Someday they may end up naming this race after Chris Clement. He picked up his 6th Orchid victory, his 5th in the last 6 years. With Meridiana, Edgar Prado gets to the lead, slows the pace down very nicely, and ends up having a 1.25 length advantage over Saved by the Light. Miss Helly had absolutely no pace into which to close, but she still managed to make up ground to finish third at 24-1. Favorite in the field was Ocean Silk, who did stalk before fading rather badly despite the slow pace. The winner, Meridiana, is a 4-year-old chestnut filly, a daughter of Lomitas from Mont Bijou by Dashing Blade. She was bred in Germany by the Gestut Etzion. She came to the United States last summer in an attempt to take on boys in some major Grade 1 company without much success. Here finds Grade 2 fillies and mares right to her liking, going a distance of ground. Orchid Handicap winner Meridiana is owned by John and Sarah Kelly, trained by Christophe Clement, and ridden to victory by Edgar Prado. Meridiana goes the 1.5 miles on the firm Gulfstream turf in 2:26.4. Leaving Gulfstream and heading next to Oak Lawn Park, we're going to take a look at a pair of stakes, beginning with Saturday's running of the Rebel. Ungraded $200,000 mile in the 16th, a stepping stone to the Arkansas Derby. Let's head down to Oak Lawn and the running of the Rebel.
In the gate, and they're off for the Rebel, and driving for the lead in the middle of the track's Marty Jones with Purge, Pro Prado right there in third. to the rail. That's Mr. Jester in fourth. Alongside is Archie B. To his outside is Cryptograph. It's 2.5 lengths further back then to Maisie's Son. Proper Prado and Grand Prospect at the back of the field as they move on the turn in the Rebel. And it is Purge leading it by 3/4. Smarty Jones right there second. At the rail, Mr. Jester and Kent DeSormo third. Pro Prado's close up today in fourth. 2.5 back, and Cryptograph takes over fifth. To his inside is Archie B. Another 2 to Maisie's Son. Then 4 lengths further back to Grand Prospect in the trailer, Proper Prado. The opening quarter was raced in 23-2 as Purge leads the way. Smarty Jones still second. Mr. Jester waiting at the rail with Pro Prado, Cryptograph on the move. The half in 47-3. They head to the final turn, and Purge is still going along nicely for John Velasquez. Now Smarty Jones wants to put the pressure on. Pro Prado is right there in third. Mr. Jester at the rail in fourth. Cryptograph beginning his move to the outside fifth. It's 4 lengths back to Grand Prospect in sixth. They go past the 3/4 in 1:12. And here they come into the stretch of the Rebel. And it is Purge and Smarty Jones right together battling for that lead. Pro Prado is third. Mr. Jester is fourth, followed by Cryptograph. And now Smarty Jones takes command. Purge drops back to second. Pro Prado is third, but it is Smarty Jones in full stride and pulling away. He's one step closer to $5 million. Smarty Jones the winner by 3.5 lengths over Purge, who ran second, and Pro Prado was third.
Smarty Jones picking up yet another victory. This colt is now 5 out of 5 in the winner's circle and seems to be getting better. His last win in the Southwest, a little bit of a hard-fought effort. His connections did indicate that they felt he was going to improve. He wasn't cranked up fully for that race, but here did run a big race, sitting off the favored Purge, and having plenty left, he drew clear 3.25 lengths over the favored Purge, with Pro Prado back in the third spot. It does appear that all 3 of these horses may end up meeting up again in just a few weeks in the Arkansas Derby right here at Oaklawn Park. The winner, Smarty Jones, pretty interesting colt. He's got a nice story behind him. He's had a couple of problems and some setbacks, but he's now 5 for 5 on the racetrack. He is a chestnut 3-year-old son of elusive quality from I'll Get Along by Smile. He was bred in Pennsylvania by the Someday Farm, owned by the breeder and trained by John Service. Ridden to victory by Stu Elliott, and it's nice to see Stu getting some credit for nice race riding outside of Philadelphia. Smarty Jones goes the mile and a 16th at Oaklawn in 1 minute, 42 seconds flat. We're going to head right back to Oaklawn for Sunday's running now. The Hot Springs Stakes. This is a $50,000 6-furlong dash. The heavy favorite, Shake You Down. Let's head down to Hot Springs and the running of the Hot Springs.
And they're off in the Hot Springs Stakes. Cowboy Stuff broke very sharply for the lead with that tat. Shake You Down a step or so behind them, now in third. After that, St. Waukee and Skeets coming from behind now as they move down the back stretch. With the lead, it is that tat, but there goes Shake You Down now to challenge him on the outside. Cowboy Stuff is third, Skeets fourth. The trailer is St. Waukee as they continue down the back stretch, and they get past the quarter. 22 seconds flat. It's Shake You Down and Mike Luzzy leading that tat by a head. Skeet scoots now into third rather. It's another 2.5 lengths back to Cowboy Stuff. On the turn, that tat and Shake You Down are right together, and here comes Skeet on the outside. A real horse race developing here. 4 lengths back to Cowboy Stuff. And here they come into the stretch of the Hot Springs. They get past the half mile in 45 seconds flat. And it is Skeet who has driven by quickly into the lead. That tat is second. Shake You Down has dropped back to third, and he's got no response. It is Skeet instead who's opened up a 3.5 length lead as they come for the wire. It is Skeet who's going to win the Hot Springs and win it convincingly by 3. That tat will finish second. In the final strides, close for third between St. Waukee and Cowboy Stuff, and Shake You Down at the back of the pack.
Skeet picking up the victory under John McKee. Very impressive effort from off the pace after breaking a little bit slowly. Shake You Down was off slow, hustled up in a rather aggressive manner, and faded very badly to finish off the board as the heavy odds-on choice. He did come out of the race with an excuse They scoped his respiratory passages and found that he had considerable signs of infection. So hopefully he'll be back to his very best. But in the meantime, Skeet puts forth a very nice performance, sitting off the pace and rallying nicely as the second choice in the wagering. That Tat finishing in the second spot after dueling inside early. St. Wacky and Cowboy Stuff settle for joint show positions here as they ended up crossing the wire nose to nose, unable to separate them. The winner, Skeet, is a chestnut 4-year-old colt, a son of Dove Hunt from Dancing Monarch by Wavering Monarch. He was bred in Florida by Dominic Chipoly. He is owned by the Fly Racing Stable and trained by Bob Holthus. Ridden to victory by John McKee, who's having a terrific meet down at Oaklawn Park. Skeet goes the 6 furlongs of the Hot Springs in 1:09 and 1. We're going to pause now for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be heading to the fairgrounds for a major turf stake and taking a look at a very busy day from Turfway Park. Please stay tuned.
We tried telling you nicely.
Get with the program.
Then we got a little bolder.
Get with the program.
Now we're practically shouting.
Get with the program. New York Bred.
And here are some of the reasons why. New York Breds race for purses and incentives exceeding $40 million. New York Bred yearling prices have risen significantly, bucking the national trend. The New York Stallion Stakes Series has expanded to 8 races worth a combined $1.25 million. New York Bred Restricted Stakes have grown from $75,000 to $100,000 at both Belmont and Saratoga. And they're doing okay in open company. Isn't it time for you to get with the program, the New York Breeding and Racing Program?
Welcome back, everyone, to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue with stakes racing action from the fairgrounds, where we're going to take a look next at the running of Sunday's Mervyn Muniz Jr. Memorial Handicap, the race formerly known as the Explosive Bid. Unfortunately, the Fairgrounds did lose Mervyn Muniz this year as a victim of cancer, and one of the nice things that the Fairgrounds does is they often memorialize their fixtures, their important people in the racing industry in the area in the names of their major stakes. So it's nice to see the name of this race changed. It's a $500,000 Grade 2 at the about distance of 1 1/8 miles on the turf. Let's head down to Louisiana and the Mervyn Muniz.
Racing. Silver Tree commences nicely. Likewise, Political Attack out wide in the yellow cap, who's looking to cross and lead. Nothing to Lose up fairly close to the speed with Proud Man. Herculated has the blue silks. And then Mystery Giver, skate away on the fence. Between horses comes Majestic Thief in front of Burning Sun, and Willard Straight is last. Political Attack leads with a lap to go by a half length from Silver Tree, who's going up almost level on his inside. 1.5 lengths to Nothing to Lose. Herculated's up close to the speed, a little bit wide out of the stretch. Skate away 5th inside of Proud Man. 2 lengths to Majestic Thief. Burning Sun is 8 lengths off the early pace from Mystery Giver and Willard Straight. In the back stretch now, and Silver Tree to the outside of Political Attack. Silver Tree now ahead in front from Political Attack, and 1.5 lengths to Nothing to Lose. 2 lengths Herculated from Skate Away, Proud Man. 2 to Burning Sun, Majestic Thief. Followed second last by Mystery Giver, and Willard Straight is last at the half mile. 12 lengths off the speed, which has been quite even. It's Proud Man by 3/4. Silver Tree well poised. Skate Away going forward on the inside of Herculated. Nothing to Lose now 5th. Skate Away's punching right through along the inside and is the new leader in the Muniz Memorial. Skate Away now a neck in front from Political Attack, and Silver Tree finds himself 3 wide. Herculated lurking just behind those from Nothing to Lose. Burning Sun picking up ground in the bright pink cap towards the inside. He's followed by Proud Man and Mystery Giver in the green cap. Skate Away's the leader. Skate Away at the 8th pole by a length from Herculated, followed by Mystery Giver, who's running home in his usual resolute fashion. Burning Sun next on the fence at the 16th. Skate Away tackled by Herculated and Mystery Giver. Mystery Givers coming away to win. 1 length from Herculated. Skate Away is 3rd. 4th, probably Burning Sun, just in front of Proud Man.
Mystery Giver. Now, this horse just loves this racetrack and has never quite been able to get there on the big day on the turf. Here he gets the job done finally, he's run some very good races in this race in the past, finally gets the win, 3 parts of a length at 15-1 over a long shot. Herculated with Skate Away, yet another long shot, back in the 3rd spot, dominating the top 3 were horses over 10-1. The next 3, 4 through 6, were all of the horses, most of the horses that everyone thought were going to win, with Burning Sun, the shipper in for Bobby Frankel, very disappointing, rallying from off the pace after settling inside, could do no better than 4th. The winner, Mystery Giver, is a 7-year-old bay gelding, a son of Dynaformer from Ionia by Nastra. Bred in Illinois by David Block and Patricia Block and owned by Team Block Stable, trained by Richard Shearer. Ridden to victory by Robbie Alvarado, Mystery Giver finally gets the job done in the big race on the turf at the fairgrounds in a final time of 1:48.1. We're going to shift gears now and head to Florence, Kentucky for the big day of racing at that Turfway Park venture. We've got a lot of racing from there on Saturday. They had 5 very important stakes races, culminating, of course, with the Lane's End. We're going to start with the Queen Stakes for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, running for $50,000, sprinting 6th. Let's head to Turfway Park and the running of the Queen.
Post. And they're off. Glorious Miss breaks sharply on the outside. Also on the outside, that's Malo, Saratoga, Humor from the rail, followed by Cozy One, then Ebony Breeze and Air Marshal. Down the back stretch, Saratoga, Humor ahead in front. Cozy One now second by a half length. On the outside, Glorious Miss runs 3rd. Then Malo, Ebony Breeze, and Air Marshal. 22-1 for the opening quarter. Saratoga, Humor leads at a half length. Glorious Miss second ahead. Cozy One 3rd, Malo 4th. Air Marshal 5th. Ebony Breeze is stuck down along the rail. She trails as they move forward the stretch. It's Glorious Miss in front. Now Ebony Breeze angles off, moves to the outside. She's gaining ground in second. Up on the outside, Air Marshal 3rd with a furlong to run. It's Ebony Breeze and Glorious Miss still down along the inside. Those two are together. Glorious Miss and Ebony Breeze. That's a photo.
Glorious Miss, David Flores of Game Nose victory over Ebony Breeze, the odds-on choice with Air Marshal, rallying from far back off the pace to finish in the 3rd spot. Glorious Miss, trained by Nick Zito, going to turn out to be the only Nick Zito victory on this card, and oddly enough, at a fairly long price. Glorious Miss is a 4-year-old bay filly, a daughter of Honor and Glory from Meadow Mystic by Meadow Lake. She was bred by Joanne Knorr in Kentucky, owned by the Buckram Oak Farm and trained by Nick Zito. Ridden to victory by David Flores, Glorious Miss covers the 6 furlongs at Turfway in 1:10.1. We're going to continue with stakes racing action from Turfway Park with the Rushaway Stakes. This is kind of like the Lane's End Light. It's an alternative for horses not quite so far along as to be running in graded stakes. It is a $100,000 mile and a 16th for the 3-year-olds. Let's head back to Turfway and the running of the Rushaway.
Boston Brahman acting up just a bit, and they're off. And Boston Brahman breaks sharply for the lead. Up from the outside, that's Tales of Glory. Between those two, Gamblin'. Then it's a length back to Brass Hat and the Lion's Share as they move into the first turn. The leader is Tales of Glory by a head. Boston Brahman on the inside. They're together, gap of 2.5. Gamblin' now runs 3rd a length. Brass Hat is 4th. Up on the outside, the Lion's Share is 5th. El Prado Rob gains ground in 6th. Then down along the rail, Pies Prospect is 7th. From the outside, that is Brass Hat, followed by Iron Rogue and the trailer, Revolver 6th. 22-4. Quick opening quarter. The half in 46-2. Now taking a short lead, that's Tales of Glory. Leads it by a head. Gaining ground, Gamblin' from between horses. Then up on the outside, that's Brass Hat. Gap of 2 lengths. El Prado Rob gains ground, moves to the outside 4th. The Lion's Share is 5th as they move into the turn. It's Tales of Glory and Brass Hat on the outside. Gap of 2 back to Gamblin', who runs 3rd. El Prado Rob is 4th into the stretch. It's the maiden, Tales of, or rather Brass Hat, the maiden on the outside. Tales of Glory is second. Then it's Gamblin' who runs third. Brass Hat now draws away from Tales of Glory, and Brass Hat at 38-1.
Couple of nice prospects in here, including the odds-on entry from Nick Zito, Pies Prospect, and El Prado Rob, but the winner, Brass Hat. Going into this race was a maiden, in fact, had lost a $15,000 maiden claimer in one of his 2 prior starts, ending up here 3 3/4 lengths the better of Tales of Glory, with Gamblin' back in the 3rd spot. The early pace set by Tales of Glory was a legitimate one. Brass Hat never far back. Huge win for this horse at 38-1. The winner, Brass Hat, is a 3-year-old bay gelding, a son of prize from Brassy by Dixie Brass. He was bred in Kentucky by Fred F. Bradley, owned by the breeder and trained by William Bradley, ridden to victory by Jason Lumpkins. I hope the Bradley family had a little bit of money on this guy. He paid almost $80 in the win spot. Brass Hat covers the mile and a 16th of the Rushaway in 1:44.1. We're going to continue with stakes racing action now from Turfway Park's Big Day with the running of the Lanes End Stakes, a Grade 2 $500,000 for the 3-year-olds. Let's head back down to Turfway, the running of the Lanes End.
For the Lanes End, and they're off. Hassle Free was off a step slowly, and Silver Minister breaks for the lead from between horses. Up from the outside, that's Sinister G. Those two right together. Birdstone is right there in 3rd by ahead. Stolen Time runs a 4th. Then up from the outside, New Element 5th. Tricky Taboo is now 6th. Followed between horses by That's an Outrage. Then it's Hassle Free, Hippocrates. 3 back to Tap Dancing Mock. And Little Math Man is the trailer. 23-1 for the opening quarter. And Sinister G has the lead now by a length. Gaining ground up on the outside, New Element 2nd ahead. From between horses, Stolen Time is 3rd. Silver Minister now runs 4th by a length. Birdstone 5th. That's an Outrage is 6th. Then Tricky Taboo, Hassle Free, and Hippocrates. Big gap back to Little Math Man and Tap Dancing Mock. The half went 47-1. Sinister G now by ahead. Gaining ground, That's an Outrage. Up on the outside, That's an Outrage now gets the lead from Sinister G. 3 back, and Birdstone is still down along the rail in 3rd. Now up on the outside, that's Tricky Taboo. Birdstone not running at all down along the inside right now as they move into the stretch. On the outside, That's an Outrage. Still down along the rail, Sinister G. They're together. Here comes Tricky Taboo. On the outside, then Little Math Man. It's Sinister G. Tricky Taboo on the outside, and Sinister G springs the upset in the Lanes End. Beats the other long shots, Tricky Taboo and Little Math Man. Then
Sinister G in yet another upset on this card, and it was another upset in the top 3 spots here. Sinister G coming out of a loss by a nose to Song of the Sword in an Aqueduct Allowance race. Heads down there for Team Toscano, opens up a lead at the top of the stretch that was unsurmountable, a length and a half at the wire over Tricky Taboo. Little Math Man, who I liked a little bit, coming out of a nice try last time out behind Silver Minister, ended up having to settle for 3rd after rallying from far back, about 4 wide at the top of the stretch under Pablo Fragoso. Favorite in the field, of course, was Birdstone, who really just never got involved. He was fairly close to the pace. It wasn't like he was all that far out of it, but when asked, he had absolutely nothing to offer Jerry Bailey. Also disappointing was Silver Minister under Rafael Bejarano, who had run through the entire series of races leading into the Lanes End right there at Turfway Park very successfully and looked to be the major threat to Birdstone. He finished last in the field of 11 without any legitimate excuse having been yet offered. The winner, however, Sinister G. Very nice effort by this 3-year-old dark bay or brown son of Matty G from Sinister Punch by 2 Punch. Bred in Florida by the Devonia stud, and it is certainly a family affair with this horse. He is owned by John Toscano III, Kim Corrado, and Yamiel Carlot. He is trained by John Toscano Jr., ridden to victory by Paul Toscano, and yes, they are all related. Sinister G goes the mile and an eighth at Turfway Park in 1:50.3. The final stakes race on Saturday's program at Turfway Park, the Hansel Stakes, a $50,000 6-furlong sprint for 3-year-olds. Let's head back down to Turfway in the running of the Hansel.
And they're off. Danieltown breaks for the lead from the outside with Marley's Revenge. Then it's Gethsemane, third gear, and Man of Conquest. Down the backstretch, Danieltown. In front, has it a length and a half. Moving up from between horses, third gear, second by a head. Gaining ground on the outside, that's Marley's Revenge. Then on the extreme outside, Can of Corn. Down along the inside, Man of Conquest is dropped back. Whoopie trails 22-1 for the opening quarter. Danieltown now draws away. He leads it by 4. Marley's Revenge second. Can of Corn runs third. Whoopie is now fourth. Gethsemane fifth. Into the stretch, it's Danieltown in front by 4. Gaining ground, Marley's Revenge on the outside. Then Whoopie, Can of Corn. Danieltown is in front. On the outside, Marley's Revenge gains ground. That's a photo. Danieltown and Marley's Revenge too close to call, then Whoopie.
Marley's Revenge and Eddie Perez pick up a nice victory here as the 5-1 third choice in the betting here. A couple of horses taking a fair amount of money, the rest of them at fairly long odds, and it was a nose between the two here with Danieltown setting the pace and just missing out on the head bob. Whoopie rallying from far back off the pace after a stumbling start, ran fairly well considering the disadvantage he began with to finish in the third spot. The winner, Marley's Revenge, is a gray or roan 3-year-old colt, a son of Concord's Tune, from Ms. Marley by Society Max. Bred in Florida by Plain Enterprises, owned by Plain Enterprises, and trained by Dale Bennett. Ridden to victory by Eddie Perez, Marley's Revenge goes the 6 furlongs of the Hansel in 1:11 flat. We are going to pause now for one more brief message. When we return, we'll be taking a look at stakes racing action from Laurel, Southern California, and of course, New York. Please stay tuned.
NYBreds.com, the online home of Thoroughbred Racing's best incentive program. NYBreds.com features sales and racing news, farm tours, articles by some of racing's top riders, the latest results, plus photos and streaming video of New York Bred Stakes races.
Here comes Critical Eye, and Critical Eye has won.
NYBreds.com has something for everyone. If racing is your full-time business, you want to see the leaders in both owner and breeder awards, and a list of stallion earnings courtesy of the Blood Horse. Racing fans will want to see the latest press releases from both NYRA and Finger Lakes, plus contests where you can cast your vote for New York Bred Divisional Champions, or even name a newborn foal. Want to take your interest in racing to the next level? NYBreds.com shows how being an owner or breeder can be both fun and rewarding. Thanks to the New York Breeding and Racing Program. NYBreds.com has it all. That's NYBreds.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue now with stakes racing action at Laurel on Saturday, where they contested the Gala Lil Stakes. 9 furlongs for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Let's head down to Maryland in the running of the Gala Lil.
They're off. River Cruise City Fire sent for some early speed, and Freels for Real undercover in Shiny Sheet and Space Probe, and that's the 6 of them as they move toward the first turn in the mile marker. Around the turn they go, drifting off the inside. City Fire is just about 2 lengths off that inside, now getting closer to the rail. River Cruise is there, the second spot, prompting mildly. In between horses, Undercovers rating along in third. Freels for Real is fourth, and Shiny Sheet 3 deep on the turn, and Space Probe is the trailer with less than 7/8 of a mile left to go. Moderate pace out there, River Cruise and City Fire alternating up front, a length and a half. Shiny Sheets put in a good tracking position there by Dominguez in third. Undercover going to try Rating Tactics this afternoon, very comfortable in fourth, now almost taking third again. Another 2 to Freels for Real, and Space Probe trailing the field. 2 in the front, 2 in the middle, 2 in the back, and a good tailwind to push them along here at Laurel Park. And River Cruise holding just in front from City Fire at the rail second. Shiny Sheet and Undercover, comfortable in third and fourth, are in great stalking spots. Freels for Real, and last of all is Space Probe. Into the far turn they go. River Cruise, City Fire continue their duel together. And now River Cruise just in front, going to try to quicken on from City Fire. Undercover has run a little more run than Shiny Sheet at this point, and Shiny Sheet's under a ride. Freels for Real's getting interested from the back of the pack at the 5/16 marker. Freels for Real's going to swoop him on the extreme outside. Freels for Real's coming with a huge run. Freels for Real, extreme outside, just gets to the front of Undercover, but Freels for Real is let loose by Abel Castellano Jr. She's taken off. Undercover's got to respond back in the final furlong. City Fire is third, and Freels for Real, and she's the real deal, defeating stakes-winning Undercover. Freels for Real in a breakthrough win here in the Galileo, and she will romp with a big swoosh in the final quarter of a mile to win going away. Freels for Real and Abel Castellano Jr. winning. Undercover.
Freels for Real, turning the tables on Undercover, who had beaten her about a month or so ago here at Laurel, getting the job done by 6 as the third choice in the betting. Undercover, the second choice, has to settle for the place spot. City Fire back in the third after dueling for the early lead. Favored Shiny Sheet caught wide on both turns under Ramon Dominguez, who doesn't often end up with a bad trip, but this time did not end up on the right part of the racetrack, having to settle for fourth. The winner, Freels for Real, a dark bay or brown 4-year-old filly, a daughter of Sword Dance from Beatty's for Real by Unreal Zeal. Bred in Florida by Gilbert G. Campbell, owned by the breeder, trained by Ned Allard, and ridden to victory by Abel Castellano Jr. Freels for Real goes the mile and an eighth at Laurel in 1 minute and 50 seconds flat. We're going to head out to California next for a pair of stakes races at Santa Anita. We're going to begin with the San Luis Rey Handicap, a $200,000 mile and a half on the turf. Let's head out to Southern California, the running of the San Luis Rey.
Zen. Feel for the San Luis Rey sent on their way. Continental Red was hopelessly left. Continental Red really a long way back. Good 15, only getting into stride now. Continental Red giving himself a very, very tall order. Tocket is quickest into stride. A Song for Billy's racing in the second spot. In behind that comes Jean de Campeo is in the third position. Then we come back to Meteor Storm. Special Matters settle down fifth. A good 10 lengths off these leaders. They're going unrealistically fast for this distance, though. In behind that comes White Buck. Puerte Bay Noose is towards the rear. Been followed by Runaway Danso. Labyrinto is at the back of the group. And then a big gap of 8 lengths back to Continental Red. Into the stretch first time round, and Tocket has slowed them right down now. Song for Billy is right there in the second position. Jean de Campeo on the outside is third. Meteor Storm is in fourth. Special Matter is racing along in fifth, giving them 8 lengths start. White Buck down at the rail. Puerto Banús is towards the rear, been followed by Runaway Dancer. Labyrinto is a good 12 lengths off these leaders, and a big gap at 10 back to Continental Red. They run past the 7/8 pole, and it's still Tocket out in front here, been followed now by A Song for Billy. Then we come back to Jean de Campeo. Behind that comes Meteor Storm. Special Matter is 7 off them, then White Buck. Puerto Banús towards the rear still. In behind that comes Runaway Dancer. Labyrinto is 11 off the leaders, and still a big gap at 10 to Continental Red. Less than a half mile left to go on the San Luis Rey now, and Tocket is out on the lead by a length. A Song for Billy is tracking in second. Then we come back to Jean de Campeo in the third position, being followed by Meteor Storm. Special Matters behind that. On the outside, Puerto Banús starts to move up closer, is still 7 off the leaders, then Runaway Dancer. Behind Runaway Dancer is Labyrinto. White Buck has lost a bit of ground. Continental Red really was never a factor today. They run past the 3/8 pole, and now Jean de Campeo on the outside. A Song for Billy at the rail. Then comes Tocket. But now here come the real contenders to tackle these leaders. Meteor Storm, Puerto Banús hooked 5 wide, but gunning on. Runaway Dancer, Special Matter, Labyrinto on the inside. They come for home. Jean de Campeo, Meteor Storm, Puerto Banús on the grandstand side, chasing them gamely. Coming for home, and Meteor Storm now takes the lead. Jean de Campeo's run a huge one. On the outside, here's Labyrinto coming flying late as well. Meteor Storm to win it. Meteor Storm, Labyrinto, a rocket finish second. Then came Jean de Campeo. Photo for fourth between Runaway Dancer and Puerto Banús.
Meteor Storm getting there by a neck, set in a perfect position just off the early pace. Tockett was involved early. A Song for Billy was up there, as well as Jean DeCampaneo. But Meteor Storm set in a perfect pocket and a stalking trip under Jose Valdivia at almost 9-1 and picked up the neck victory over Labyrinto, who rallied from far back, splitting rivals at the top of the stretch. The two of them made a bit of a run for it in the final 16th. Jean DeCampaneo set just off the early pace and did hold on very well to the third spot at 33-1. The winner, Meteor Storm, is a 5-year-old bay horse, a son of Big Stone from Hunt the Sun by Rainbow Quest. He was bred in Great Britain by Juddmonte Farm, owned by Michael Jarvis, Gary Margolis, Ken Smole et al., trained by Wally DeLasse, and ridden to victory by Jose Valdivia Jr. Meteor Storm covers the 1.5 miles on the turf course in the San Luis Rey in 2 minutes, 26 seconds flat. We're going to head right back out to Santa Anita now and take a look at Sunday's running of the Santa Paula, an ungraded 6.5 furlong sprint for 3-year-old fillies. Let's head back to California, the running of the Santa Paula.
Away they go. All's well that ends well was off slowly. Very Vegas fast into stride. Lying Goddesses on the outside. Friendly Michelle in the gold right there with them. All's well that ends well recovers quickly now and comes through down at the rail. Mazzella the early trailer, but only 4.5 off them. They run past the 5/8. All's well that ends well at the rail. Very Vegas keen to go on between them, and Lying Goddess and the white blinkers right there too. Friendly Michelle is only 3 lengths off them, and then comes Mazzella. Less than a 1/2 mile to go, and All's well that ends well goes through now to lead them by a length. Very Vegas right there in second. Lying Goddess 3 lengths off the leaders. Friendly Michelle going to have to go 4 wide as they come to the 5/16, and Mazzella is last, 6 off them. They come past the 5/16. Very Vegas takes on All's well that ends well. Lying Goddess in with a good shot in the white cap. Friendly Michelle on the outside. Mazzella is still 5 off them. They turn for home, and Very Vegas takes the advantage now. Lying Goddess, Friendly Michelle on the grandstand side. All's well that ends well, battling down at the rail, but it's Very Vegas in front. Here's Lying Goddess with a late run, and Friendly Michelle. 3 of them going to hit the wire together. Friendly Michelle on the outside now doing best, and Friendly Michelle will get up to win it. Friendly Michelle, Lying Goddess, Very Vegas, All's well that ends well, and
Friendly Michelle, who had tried taking on some pretty nice fillies, the likes of AP Adventure and others in Grade 1 company in a couple of recent tries, here drops back in class, drops back in distance, and gets the job done as the odds-on choice over Lying Goddess, with Very Vegas, the early pace setter, holding on to finish in the 3rd spot. The winner, Friendly Michelle, is a chestnut filly, 3-year-old daughter of Artax from Valiant Jewel by Buckley Boy. She was bred in Kentucky by Ronald Fain. Owned by Ed Friendly and trained by Bob Baffert, ridden to victory by Tyler Bays. Friendly Michelle goes the 6.5 furlongs of the Santa Paula in 1:17.1. We're going to head home to the Big A next for a pair of Saturday stakes, beginning with the Gotham Stakes, the Grade 3 $200,000 flat mile on the main track. Let's head down to New York in the running of the Gotham.
And they're off in the Gotham. Quick Action broke well on the outside. Redskin Warrior. At the rail, it's Deputy Storm as they move up the chute. Redskin Warrior. Pomeroy is moving up in between horses. Deputy Storm at the rail. Quick Action the extreme outside. Saratoga County is running in 5th. Wars Prospect in 6th. Then a gap of 4 to Raccoon. And Eddington was off slow and is at the back of the pack as they move up the back stretch. The opening quarter mile helped by the wind in 21-4. Deputy Storm by 3/4 of a length. Pomeroy is 2nd. Redskin Warrior in 3rd. Then Wars Prospect, Saratoga County, and Quick Action. A gap of 3 to Eddington and Raccoon. And the 1/2 mile, 43 3/5 seconds into the far turn. It's Deputy Storm setting this extremely fast pace, but still leading here by 3/4 of a length. Pomeroy in 2nd, Redskin Warrior on the outside. And then it's Saratoga County, Quick Action. Eddington begins to gain some ground, but still with a lot to do as they come for the top of the stretch. 3/4 in 1:08. It is Pomeroy who comes away with the lead. On the outside, it's Saratoga County to challenge, and Saratoga County has taken the lead. Pomeroy running in second. Eddington has moved up to third. They're at the 16th pole. Saratoga County by a length. Pomeroy second, then Eddington. It's Saratoga County to win the Gotham, 2.5 lengths. Pomeroy second. Eddington was third.
Saratoga County getting the job done here by 2.25 lengths over Pomeroy. Eddington, who was disadvantaged by a little bit of a bumpy start, did get outrun in the early going. Eddington has been primarily a distance horse. He's really come to hand at 9 furlongs, and the pace in here may have been just a little bit too sharp for him. He did rally, but was no better than about 3.5 lengths from the winner at the finish line. Disappointing in here was Redskin Warrior, who had been training very forwardly for this race, sat just off the pace in the early going in a wide position, but had nothing to offer when asked by Richie Migliori. The winner, however, Saratoga County, had plenty to give Javier Castellano. He was scratched from last week's Swale for this spot, and it does look like George Weaver made the right decision when deciding to take him out of the Swale at 7 furlongs, instead run here at the mile. It does appear that he is not a likely Triple Crown candidate, although they have indicated that the Lexington Stakes may be the next spot for Saratoga County. Saratoga County is a 3-year-old based on Valid Expectations from Grubb's Dancer by Grubb. Bred in Kentucky by the Round Table Limited, owned by Evelyn Pollard, trained by George Weaver, and ridden to victory by Javier Castellano. Saratoga County covers the flat mile of the Gotham in 1:35.2. One more stakes race to bring to you, the Cicada for 3-year-old fillies on Saturday at the Big A. The purse $100,000, the distance 7 furlongs. It's a grade 3. Let's head back down to New York in the running of the Cicada.
And they're off. Whirlwind Charlotte breaks well on the extreme outside. Now She's a Muggs moves up along with Bohemian Lady. She's a Muggs by a head. Bohemian Lady is second. Whoopie Cat is in third. And Whirlwind Charlotte is now fourth. It's a gap of 3 lengths to Free Roll. And the trailer is Baldamera in sixth. The 3-year-old fillies move up the backstretch, with She's a Muggs leading by a length and Bohemian Lady chasing in second. The first quarter, 22 seconds. Whoopie Cat is third, 3 lengths from the front. Whirlwind Charlotte in fourth. And at the back, Free Roll and Baldamera. They move around the far turn. She's a Muggs leads by a half length. Bohemian Lady is second. Half mile, 44 3. Whirlwind Charlotte now into third with Whoopie Cat right behind in fourth as they hit the quarter pole. She's a Muggs, Bohemian Lady, and Bohemian Lady now takes the lead. Whoopie Cat in between horses, moving into second. Then She's a Muggs and Whirlwind Charlotte, 1/8 of a mile to the finish. And Bohemian Lady has a 4.5 length lead. Whoopie Cat in second. It's Bohemian Lady, sharp today. She's going to win by 7 lengths. Bohemian Lady takes the Cicada. Whoopie Cat second, close for third, Baldamera or Whirlwind Charlotte.
Bohemian Lady this time didn't have to worry about All My Souvenirs and ends up drawing clear by 6.5 easy lengths over the favored Whoopie Cat, who had been taking on very good company out in California as Friendly Michelle had. She's dropping in out of a little bit better company on the West Coast, but could do no better than second. Baldamera at 8-1 rallies from far back off the pace to finish third. The winner, Bohemian Lady, a Bay filly, 3-year-old daughter of Carson City from Weekend in Indy by AP Indy. Bred in Kentucky by the WinStar Farm Limited and owned by Padua Stable, had a pretty good weekend this weekend. Trained by Todd Pletcher, ridden to victory by Edgar Prado, Bohemian Lady covers the 7 furlongs of the Grade 3 Cicada in 1:23.1. That wraps up a busy weekend's worth of stakes racing action. Thank you very much for joining us for Horses and Courses this week. We hope you'll be able to join us again next week as we take a look at stakes racing action from around the country and around the world. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Jean Wood, and I will see you all back here next time.